Wrote down all the things I'm thankful for. Show the universe that I really appreciate everything that it's given me. This is what I wrote down. I'm thankful for my legs, I'm thankful for my eyes, I'm thankful for my bed, I'm thankful for the sky, cause nothing is forever, that's why I'm writing this letter. See, gratitude's a high frequency.
Hi everybody, this is Karen Schaal with Gratitude Gals and Positive Online Psychology. I want to send a special shout out and thank you to Stefan Leipem. He comes out of Germany and he is the singer-songwriter who does our intro song, Blessed. You can find Stefan on Facebook and on YouTube on Cosmic, C-O-S-M-I-C. So thank you. His message is really positive and I feel really blessed and grateful that he's letting me use his music. So thank you, Stefan. And remember, housekeeping out of the way, here we go. You can find us on Facebook on Gratitude Gals and also on Positive Online Psychology and on the website on positiveonlinepsychology.com. There we go. So here we are. And we're going to talk about something that's coming out of the news today. We had some parents who were trying to get their kids into college, and it just didn't work out. They got busted. So we're going to talk about entitlement and greed and gratitude and ingratitude. And actually, we're going to stick some resilience in there, if you can believe that. So that's what we're going to cover today. We're going to cover the Queen of Virtues and the King of Vices. So here we go. I'm going to start off. This was, I thought of this today because in my, I had a little book when I was a kid and this story was in it and it was a dog. It's called The Dog and His Reflection. And this kind of gives us a little intro into this whole kind of unfortunate story that's happening today in the news. But anyway, my dog was a big bulldog in the story in my book. Big bulldog, drooling, kind of, you know how bulldogs drool. He had this huge bone in his mouth, and he goes to the river, and he looks in the water, and of course, he sees his reflection, and what does he do? But he thinks the dog has a bigger bone than what he has, and he drops the bone, and his bone is gone. And in my version, he has big crocodile ears, and it's really, really sad. So he should have been happy with what he had, right? Should have been grateful for what he had. So here's my second story. A man's walking down the street. His name is George, and he's looking pretty sad. His friend comes up to him, and he goes, "Oh, my goodness, George, what's wrong?" George goes, "Well, 3 weeks ago, my cousin twice removed died, and she left me $40,000." And his friend goes, "Well, George, I'm sorry about your loss, but my goodness, that's not bad, You can use that $40,000." But why are you looking so sad? And George goes, "Well, a couple weeks ago, my grandfather's brother died, and he left me 60." And his friend looked at him and goes, 60,000. Well, first of all, George, I'm sorry about your grandfather's brother, but $60,000, that's $100,000, George. I'm really sorry about your loss, but yeah, you could use that. You're looking still a little sad here, George. And George goes, "Well, last week my aunt died and she left me $1.5 million. Well, his friend gave him the normal condolences, right? And goes, George, come on, George, lift up your spirits. What's wrong?" George looked at his friend and said, "Well, nothing's happened this week." So, George was expecting something. He'd gotten money every 3 weeks. George was feeling entitled. And that's what happens. When thinking about entitlement, let's go to the story now. So we've got some parents, and these are wealthy people. I mean, One of the Hallmark ladies is here, Lori Loughlin, and her husband. Her husband's a billionaire. Melissimo is his brand. And they've got, I'll just talk about them because I know Lori Loughlin only from watching her on TV, and, it's an easy story. She's got a couple daughters, and her daughters aren't necessarily interested in going in college. And what happens with all these parents, and there's about 30, I don't know if 30 sets of them, maybe so, they end up falsifying photos. They end up taking their children to psychiatrists to delay their SAT tests. So an impersonator can go in and take the SAT for their children. So these are really, really serious allegations. Serious allegations. One of the girls of Lori Loughlin says, well, I'm not really interested in going to college. My parents didn't go to college, and it's something they wanted me to do. The youngest daughter, age 19, has 2 million followers on YouTube. She's looking forward to having new content when she goes to college. A lot of the complaints against this, besides the blatant dishonesty, of course, is that these young people, due to their parents' dishonesty, have been put into universities where other people have worked years of sacrifice to try to get into and don't. So there's, of course, a lot of injustice in the story. But now we're going to talk, about all of this, the entitlement. The entitlement of George expecting something the following week. The entitlement that we see, if anyone that's been a grandparent given presents to kids who are just used to getting so much that they just don't know how to be grateful. Did you know that materialism really counters gratitude? It actually causes you to be ungrateful? You wouldn't think so, but let's listen to the words. This is from Robert Emmons. He's out of the University of California, Davis. He's one of the early researchers of gratitude, and he discovered pretty quickly, and this research I think was with adolescents and adults, that materialism and gratitude just don't go together. And this is what he writes. But perhaps the most popular form of seeking happiness is through the accumulation of things. Materialism, though, is bought at a cost. A society that feels entitled to what it receives does not adequately express gratitude. Seen through the lens of buying and selling, relationships as well as things are viewed as disposable, and gratitude cannot survive the materialistic onslaught. The lack of gratitude is contagious and is passed from one generation to the next. Conversely, the act of gratitude is also viral and has been found to greatly and positively influence not just relationships, but one's own emotional status. Now, I put that last sentence in, but let's go back to what he says before. That the lack of gratitude is contagious and passes from one generation to the next. So what are we teaching our children when we buy them things and buy their way to places that they haven't really earned? This, I think, is a sad story, and pretty much like what's happened recently with the young man, Jesse Smollett. We don't know if he's innocent, guilty. We don't know if these people are innocent or guilty. But appearance-wise, it looks like we're looking at people who have a lot and want more and are willing to cheat to get it. Now back up from these actions, these dishonest actions, and change the scenario where you have parents, where you have people who are grateful. I mean, these people are living in abundance. Abundance. What happens when these people are grateful rather than feeling entitled, and by their entitlement actually feeling ungrateful? We would see totally different actions moving forward. We probably would see that their children were not in these top universities, of course. But we'd probably see more presence and possibly not the tendency for everyone to just want to buy their way through things. We know how that works, right? Everybody's getting ribbons. Everybody's getting everything bought. I think it's just a sign of the times. But I'm a gratitude gal, so this is focused a little bit on gratitude here. You know, these guys weren't grateful for what they had. And we have generations of people now who are being raised with so much materialistic things that they really don't know how to be grateful. And we all know there's nothing worse than an ungrateful person. I don't know why it's so offensive to people, but it is. You know, when somebody's ungrateful, it really, really gets under people's skins. Under people's skin. So, I want to say one more thing about this. And really, the people who lose in this are our children. I'm older now. If I want to go out and buy stuff and, you know, do all that, and I'm not really harming anyone, it's not the way I want to live, but it's okay. But what we're doing with our children by giving them so many things and teaching them not to be grateful by doing that is really a disservice, a great, great disservice. I want to read something from a gentleman who he researched resilience. Besides a gratitude gal and an educational psychologist, I'm also a positive psychologist, and resilience is in the center of the field of positive psychology. For those of you who do not know, positive psychology is basically self-help information backed up by scientific research. I love it. And resilience is in the middle of the research that's being conducted there. But here we go. This is what he discovered when he was checking out resilience. This is for his 2012 book, Rebounders. And to give him credit, his name is Rick Newman. So let me go back to that again. I'm scrolling on my phone. So here we go. He discovered that kids who learn to surmount challenges on their own and even fail in safe ways learn how to excel in the real world. Shrewd parents help their kids develop the skills needed to open doors for themselves. It might not be illegal, but it's a crime against your kids to carry them across every obstacle and prevent them from learning needed survival skills. Rick even goes so far to say that some parents even use their children, how does he say it, to feed their own vanity, because kids are a kind of life accessory. So we've taken materialism and, according to this gentleman, made children life accessories. Well, we've made dog life accessories, cats life accessories. So I think we're about accessorizing these days. For good and for bad, right? Okay. So I end on accessorization. Yay! You get my drift here. Yeah, something to think about as we go out into the world. and something to think about when we're raising our kiddos or in charge of children. So I'm going to call it a close for now. I'm not much with goodbyes, but I'll do my best on this one. This is Karen Schaal with Gratitude Gals. It's March 12, 2019. And again, if this brought up any questions for you guys and gals, please let me know, because I want to, this is a place, a washroom, so to speak, so we can hang out laundry. Right? So let's do that because we want to be the best that we can be. And by doing that, we're going to help other people to be the best that they can be as well. So until next time, Karen Schaal with Gratitude Gals and Positive Online Psychology. Bye-bye.
We are eternal souls, living this life to learn and grow. But before I'm returning home, I'm becoming my greatest version, though. I'm thankful for my breath, I'm thankful for this mic, I'm thankful for everything that I have in my life. I feel blessed, damn right, I feel blessed. Cause I got food on the table, and for this water I'm grateful. I'm not a meat eater, but we all different, we don't